New Custodes are coming. I think you're going to be happy. Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. As always, my name is Jay. In this video, I want to talk to you quickly about the pre-order. There was an Orc pre-order, and there's also a Custodes pre-order this weekend, everyone. Woo. Custodes pre-order, cool. And it's going to be a lot of cool stuff coming up for pre-order. Once again, just like the Orcs, the same things are coming for the Custodes. And as I mentioned in my last video about the Orcs, for the Custodes, this happened last time with the Genestealer cult, and it turned out like the Custodes were significantly better than Genestealer cult, and I'm hoping that's not the case with Orcs. But of course, let's talk about the Custodes. So, of course, once again, a new Codex is coming out. New Codex and Special Edition Codex as well. Awesome stuff. Yep, so both, you can buy the Special Edition Codex or the normal Codex, and once again, both codices will be out of date by the time they come out and you have them in your hands. Guaranteed. Who cares? Points don't matter. So, that'll happen too. So of course this weekend there'll be a bunch of Codex reviews by their YouTubers. Yes. But that's cool. So those two things will be out for pre-order. Also in addition to that, there's going to be new dice and new cards coming out for the Custodes. Very cool. Golden dice and golden cards. Nice stuff. You need them to play your army, right? That's pretty cool stuff too as well. And then of course, once again, a new Battleforce and a new Combat Patrol. The only thing is, with the Orcs, of course, they were two very different themed, right? The Battleforce is around the Stompa, and the Combat Patrol is really around the Beast Boys. So there's no overlap. There's no overlap between the two. Not a single model is shared between the two boxes. That cannot be said for the Battleforce and the Combat Patrol for Custodes, because once again, Custodes is such a small faction of models, right? They are getting a new model in the Battleforce, and I did a full review on that as well, but it's just, there's such a tiny number of models that you really could do that would make sense. There is a bit of overlap between these two, so it might, I'm finding that depending on how the Codex looks, I think the Combat Patrol might be more popular than the Battleforce, because the Battleforce is all about the jet bike. Is basically the Combat Patrol plus jet bikes. Right, really, there's a lot of overlap. So let me know about what you think. Do you think the Battleforce is going to be liked, or the Combat Patrol? But let's go over both, of course. So as I mentioned in my previous video, there's going to be a Battleforce. And the Battleforce is going to contain a Captain, 5 Wardens, 6 Alaris Terminators, and 6 jet bikes, right? The Virtus Praetors on jet bikes. So overall, that's cool. I just don't know. People were saying in the previous video that I made about this was that, you know, the jet bikes aren't as good as they once were, and most existing players already have them. But that being said, maybe they're fixed. Maybe I think there's going to be some ways to play this army. Of course, as you know, in the new codices, there's always new detachments and new styles of play. Maybe that the bikes will become better in one of the styles. So I'm hoping that this Battleforce is going to be a really, you know, solid box, plenty of points, great way to start your army if you're a new player, right? It's a great way of just starting a new Custodes army, maybe adding to an existing army if you have a small force already. The great thing about Custodes is that they're such an elite army that they're so quick and cheap and easy to build. You basically can buy this Battleforce in like a couple other boxes and you're good. And there's your 2,000 point list for a tournament. Cool, right? Maybe one of those crazy tanks. Awesome. But in addition, as many of you have already said, the Custodes box went the way of the dodo on the Games Workshop website recently. So of course that meant that they're getting a new Combat Patrol box set, and they've already announced that as well for next weekend. And so the Combat Patrol box set has a huge overlap with the Battleforce, as I'm going to mention. So the Combat Patrol, as you can see here, has a Blade Champion. So it's the new model from last edition's box set, which had, you know, the Genestealer cult and the Custodes. It's the model from there. And of course, 5 Custodian Guard, cool. 5 Alaris Terminators versus the 6 in the Battleforce, and 5 Wardens versus versus the Battleforce, which has 5 Wardens as well. This is one of the more interesting Combat Patrols, because this box comes with all those models, but you can't use all these models. They're too strong for a combat patrol. But Games Workshop was smart, of course, and didn't want to give you a part of a squad. It wouldn't make any sense. So for this particular combat patrol, you get the Blade Champion, right? If you're going to play combat patrol, you can choose a Blade Champion for your list. You can choose the 5 Custodial Guard, and then you get a choice of 3, right? Not 5, 3 Alaris Terminators or 3 Wardens. You only get to choose one or the other, right? So in the end, out of those 10 models, you only get to choose 3 of them. 3 Terminators or 3 Alaris Wardens. But if you buy the box set, you get all 10 of the models, which is pretty cool. So this is kind of an interesting one so far because the Combat Patrol, it's more than the Combat Patrols you're going to get to play with. They give you extra models, which is fantastic. And once again, it seems like a great starter of an army because it seems like it's pretty much the Battleforce minus the bikes, which again, a lot of people had very debated opinions on. You get the Blade Champion as opposed to the other leader, but still, seems like a pretty solid combat patrol. I'd say so. What do you think? Leave comments in the comment section down below. But those are my thoughts. So as you can see, they're getting new dice, new Codex, plus special edition Codex, not worthless, out of date by the time you get them, guaranteed. And of course, you get the dice and the cards, which are cool, and of course, the new Battleforce and the new Combat Patrol. In the Battleforce, you get that new guy, which is pretty cool. You get the new model. I actually like him. I think he's looking really cool. And the Combat Patrol has last edition's new model. So, what do you think? Leave comments in the comment section down below of everything about you Custodes people like. Do you think good? Do you think one's going to be more preferred than the other? I think the Combat Patrol is going to be more sought after than the Battleforce. That's my thought, but I could be wrong. If the rules for the bikes are really strong, you could see it. So, stay tuned for more review videos and painting tutorials and painting videos and everything. Please like this video, comment in the comment section down below, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. It really helps a lot. Hit that like button and that bell so every time I make a video, you see it. Stay tuned for more review videos. Until next time, this is Jay saying happy painting, your Custodes.